Bigger star right now, Taylor Swift or Lionel Messi in the United States right now?
I think it's got to be Taylor Swift, homie. She's everywhere. It's almost annoying. We do have exclusive content on what Cushing said to Pellegrini right before he brought him to the game.
Baby, not only are you a genius, you're beautiful. When I look in your eyes, oh yeah, I see what God did.
Welcome to another episode of the City Boy Show. I'm Javier. This is Danny.
What is up?
What is going on? We are back in the studio.
It's nice to be back in the studio.
I know we're not gonna get kicked out this time. We've been getting kicked out of like these stadiums all the time. They're just like grilling us, like, can you guys just leave? The game's over, bro.
And not only that, but when they haven't kicked us out, you can see the eyes. Like, why are these guys here? What are they doing? They're not real reporters. Like, look at the cool background. It's a stadium. We got to do the video here.
Yeah, they're done with us. They just keep grilling us.
Especially at Red Bull. At Red Bull, they hate us.
I can't stand the Red Bull people.
Hopefully, we've played our last game at Red Bull.
It's been confirmed now.
It's been confirmed. No, I'm saying ever.
Oh, why do you think ever? It's definitely happening, bro. There's gonna be
maybe the baseball doesn't exist next season. Maybe it's gone forever, and then we can make it work. I'll play anywhere, man. Put me at Randall's Island. Put me in St. John's. I don't care. Just don't put me back in New Jersey.
Seriously, I don't want to go to Jersey. If it's a football game, I'll go to Jersey.
I don't even like the Jets or the Giants enough, or the Eagles to make that trip.
Bigger star right now, Taylor Swift or Lionel Messi in the United States right now?
I think it's got to be Taylor Swift, homie. She's everywhere. It's almost annoying. It's almost like football. You know what I think messed it up is like the social media teams have also for the NFL have taken over Taylor Swift. So it's just too much Taylor Swift.
No, talking about that. Taylor Swift. So while we played Messi, obviously, everybody. Well, we played Inter Miami. We didn't play Messi, but you get it.
Yeah.
It was basically we were playing Messi because every 5 seconds the screen was on Messi or Jordi Alba. And like the dude you couldn't even get a right shot of Jordi Alba and they were still cutting to him. It was like 2 little kids at one point. I'm like, what are we watching here? Why are you not showing this? I get it. Messi's in the stadium. Yes, that's important. But let's not cut to him every 5 minutes.
I know. I'm missing valuable game time to see what Messi go.
we gotta do a tracker on how much they play Messi throughout the game versus how much they play Taylor Swift at an NFL game.
Oh, that's a good idea.
A good one, right?
Do you know actually someone got kicked off an airplane because while they were waiting for the plane, they took a shot every time Taylor Swift showed up on screen.
No way.
And they were trashed.
That is crazy.
We should do the same for Messi.
How did they get the game on the plane ride, though?
No. It was before the flight. They were watching the game.
Damn, that's a great game, though. All right, live show next time, a Messi game, and it's a drinking game. All NYCFC fans invited.
That would be awesome.
All right. No more having fun.
No. It was a draw. You know, we've been undefeated in 6, but somehow it doesn't feel like good times.
Yes, undefeated in 6 because we only won 3 and we drew 3. And those draws keep feeling like losses. And this game in particular was one of those big ones where it's just like, it was playoff atmosphere. This felt like win or go home. This is our moment to shine in Miami that all eyeballs are watching. It's a big, big game.
And not only that, but the cards were in our favor. Messi wasn't playing. Jordi Alba wasn't playing. Those dudes were exhausted out there. It just seemed like if this was a time to play Inter Miami, this was the right time to play them.
Exactly. They just played Open Cup on Wednesday, and the coach has been complaining. I think all coaches are currently complaining that there's too many schedules throughout the game, throughout the season right now. And he says their guys are tired.
Did you hear Andre Blake? He was saying, or Balake, my bad. Andre Balake was saying that like we got to talk at the next like CBA, and we got to reduce the amount of games because it's ridiculous how many games are being played.
Well, I mean, so the problem is this does happen in the European soccer where there's a lot of games in this like short period of time. The thing is, you could say is the bench players aren't as great quality as the starters are in MLS due to all these leagues, due to all these restrictions and salary caps and all that. So I agree in the sense that, yeah, then you're messing up the product, right? Because, okay, you could have bench players play, but if you're not getting quality bench players, then it messes up the product of what are people watching, and it downgrades the game basically.
And not only that, but I think I know there's a lot of like mid-game games in Europe, but bro, when you're going midweek games in Europe, but when they're traveling, they're taking the bus for 10 minutes to the next stadium, homie.
The schedule, the travel is brutal in the US.
It is brutal. I mean, you're going to a game and you're traveling 5 hours. You're staying in a hotel. It completely changes. I mean, look at what Mexico was saying. Like, this is insane. So I do think that might make sense to reduce the amount of games, have the best product out. No, honestly, I don't even get why Wednesday games are a thing. The turnout's always terrible and the product is not great. Like,
it's the only way it works though if you're doing like a league. Well, League's Cup different because they kind of canceled all games, but like no, actually there was midweek games in League's Cup.
There was, yeah.
It's just they gotta fix
it. Was only League's League's Cup, not US Open Cup.
US Open Cup, they had midweek games over here. It's just the way the schedule works out, but yeah, they have to fix it. But LAFC coach keeps complaining when he loses major like cup games, like he lost the Campeones Cup, bro. That's your fault. Like, you can't keep blaming you can blame people being fatigued, but you also have to take accountability for just not performing well either.
Agreed. You know what I thought another just coach talking that it was interesting this week was did you see Cincinnati won the Supporter Shield?
Yeah.
Dude said Supporter Shield is more important than the MLS Cup. That's outrageous. Also, I like to point out somebody on Twitter mentioned, I'm sorry, I don't know who it was, that every person who says Supporters Cup, Shields Cup is better than Supporters has never won the MLS
Supporter
Cup.
Shield.
Sorry, Supporter Shield.
No, is it Supporter Shield?
It's the Supporter Shield, yeah, and the MLS Cup.
Okay.
They've never won the MLS Cup, the team that's won the Supporter Shield. So. Yes.
But I will say though, yes, and the only reason that theory doesn't work, if you look at like a European league, right, like English Premier League, it's the team who won the most regular season. There is no playoffs, right?
Yes.
So the only reason it doesn't work here is because you're not playing all the teams in the league, right?
Correct.
You're only playing some Western Conference teams, but not all of them, and then you're playing all the Eastern Conference teams. So it just doesn't make sense. You know what? You're not playing all the best teams. That's why it doesn't make sense.
Exactly.
But
also, I just think I will
say there is some value to that shield, though.
I saw someone, Irving, remember he used to be on the Forever Pod, said he would rather have 4 Supporter Shields and 4 wooden spoons versus having.
Wait, what are the wooden spoons?
That means you got last place.
Oh, okay.
He would rather have 4 Supporter Shields and 4 wooden spoons than like
having an MLS Cup.
An MLS Cup.
Nah,
in just one of the 8 seasons.
Nah.
I disagree. Yeah.
No, because the MLS Cup is so fun, though. I get it. Like, well, we're gonna see this year. We got to talk about this playoff format eventually. Well, let's not even jinx it. We don't know what's happening this game. Let's get back into NYCFC versus Miami. So we talked about their lineup. First thing we see, no Messi, no Alba. We're feeling a little good about ourselves. But let's talk about our lineup. This was basically the same lineup as the game before, which we were all calling for, right? It's like, don't change what's not broken.
Exactly. And not only, and it's been hot. And I think this is the part of the season where you have to solidify the lineup, right? Like, if we make the playoffs, we got to make it with a team that meshes well together. And this is the team that's been winning. Jason's been hot. Pereira's been hot. Talas Magno came in, and I'm really glad he got to start again. And he played really well that first half. So I had no concerns about the lineup. What about you?
No, I completely agree. I was excited because I was like, please don't change anything. He gets a little crazy with the changes sometimes, Nick Cushion. So I was just like, please keep the same lineup. Let's see what goes. You know what I mean? If it works, it works. One thing that I thought for right off the bat was Parks was available. Now, how does Parks fit into this lineup? Well, it's weird because, right, like you don't really have a spot for Parks in this lineup at this moment.
Yeah, I mean, would you choose Parks over Sands? You can't sit Pereira. He's just been too good. But what about Sands?
I mean, that's the only person you could sit, really, right?
Yeah.
It depends if you want to be more defensive or more offensive, right? Because Parks is going to bring you more offensive ball.
Yeah.
But whatever, let's get into that later when we talk about our next game.
Okay.
So we see this lineup, we're feeling good. This is kind of what we all wanted, to be honest. Game starts. 3 early fouls by Busquets. It's like under 5 minutes. There was already 3 early fouls, no cards. And the players are looking around like, look, you already gave him 2 other warnings. You have to give him the card this time, and nothing.
Exactly. And I get it. He's a veteran player. He knows what he's doing. You give him some respect. But the third time's the third time, homie. And I know we're going to talk about it, but that ref let that game get out of control there, and it just kept going on throughout the game.
Yeah, if you look at it, first, this guy gives like the most yellow cards in the league. So I'm surprised it didn't start earlier. This is where you get into your conspiracy theories. Everybody loves, well, MLS wants Miami to make it, but it took 32 minutes for them to get the first yellow card out there. So it was a long time, and there was a lot of fouls in between those 32 minutes. So I'm just surprised by that, but we'll get into that more later. 12th minute, Jason with the dime to he does a cross to Bakrar. And Bakrar goes left of the goalpost. What's your thoughts?
I just felt like you got to make those, man. You know, the first thing that came to my mind when I saw that,
Well,
Hebe would have made that shot. and it's so funny because I think at that exact moment, at some point in that game, Hebe makes a goal. He gets called offsides in Seattle. But I just thought, man, I really miss Hebe. And I just miss having a striker that has that ability. It's kind of crazy that we got a striker, although it's a young striker. And I feel like a theme of this game, which is the theme of the season, is we need a striker. And it's kind of crazy. And I don't want to like give up on Munsef. I still think he has a lot of opportunity. I know he's young, but that was like my first thought was, man, I miss Hebe right now.
Yeah, no, and then instant reaction, because then you go into the 14th minute. 2 minutes later, Talles Magno slices the ball with a beautiful dime through the back line. Bakrar, I mean, granted, he got past the back line with that, but Bakrar actually made a move to the left, dribble to the left to get past the defender, but then he shoots it wide left again.
Oh, and that felt like, yes, he made a great move, but that was a wide open net there, man. And then 2 minutes after that.
No. Then it was like 10 minutes after.
Oh, okay.
With Perea, right?
Yes.
Perea's a beast, though. Perea, box-to-box runner, delivers a beautiful cross to Bakrar, and he hits it wide again.
And I mean, that was the most Hebe-esque shot.
Oh, yeah, because it was like a chip shot. And
it was like 2 feet away from the goal.
So do you think Perea shot it a little too far up? Because he slid to get the ball with his left foot.
When I saw it in the real time, I thought he did. But after I saw the today, nah. Munsef messed that up, homie.
And that's the thing. Like, instant reaction was like, oh my gosh, is it happening again? Like, I thought we had our striker. This is balls that he needs to execute. Like, he needs to score those. And we've kind of seen that a couple times, not even just in this game, but in previous games too, where it's like, dude, you're the striker. This is your moment. This is what you came here to do. And he's not getting the ball in the net.
You know, because we're on Munsef, I kind of want to put this complaint in here. And I text this to you was he also doesn't press really. And I get it. He didn't have an off season. He's just getting up to 90 minutes. Maybe you don't want him running hard for those 90 minutes. But you saw Santi had to play striker kind of when they played defense, because he was able to press and Munsef couldn't. Yeah. And it was like, if you're not going to be a great finisher, then go press, like go work hard and hustle.
Yeah.
And you can be a bad presser if you can go and score. Yeah. To have 3 missed shots and then still seeing him jog back was very frustrating to me at the time.
No, and I agree with you in the sense that Santi was playing great defensively. He pressed that whole game. This was, for me, a coming out party for Santi. It was like, wow, like this is why we signed this DP striker. I mean, not DP striker, but winger or whatever you want to call him now, because he plays everywhere on the damn pitch.
And when he came in and he kind of took over that 9th spot, and this was the second time he did it. He did it last game at Citi Field, and he did it again here. And it was like you saw like it's a different type of false nine that they play, right? Moonsef doesn't play a false nine, and it's a different type of motion. But when they tried it before in the past, we weren't seeing the type of fluidity of the movement of the ball than we see now. And it's like sometimes you go, man, do we even need Moonsef? Do we put Santi back in the false nine? I don't want to go down that way because I think it changes the game. I think it's better that he comes in later and plays that. But man, did you see how relieved he was when he made that shot? It felt like the Talus Magno.
Wait, you're jumping.
Oh, sorry. You brought up Santi.
Well, we talked about Santi, but you're jumping the gun.
Okay, all right, jump the gun.
Talus Magno, first half. So Talus Magno, you told me after the game something happened to Talus Magno. It looked like he got fouled a couple times. That was kind of the extent of it. It was actually funny. Remember when he had like, I thought he was dehydrated because he just put like a bucket of water in his whole face, like dripping down. Like I thought he was either overheating or like like needed more hydration because he just poured himself in water. But then you told me something after. What happened?
Yeah, I was listening to the Sig Pod prior to getting here, and what I heard was that he actually had a stomach issue prior to the game. He said I can play, and he was able to play that first half, but he just couldn't play.
Yo, Talus was trying to have his Jordan moment, bro. Jordan-esque moment, stomach flu game. I'm gonna score right in front of Messi,
and then I'm gonna go take a shit as soon as I make that shot.
So he gets subbed out right at first half. So first half, we had an expected goal of 1.47 to their 0.36. We had 7 shots to their 4. Crazy thing is, none of them were on target. That's because Moonsef kept shooting them left. 3 of those 4 shots, 3 of those 7 shots came from Moonsef. So we had some big chances. Crazy thing is, we didn't have the possession game either in that first half. 32 to their 69 or 63. Yeah, 63%.
Oh, wow.
So first half, he gets subbed out. Talus Magno gets subbed out. Start the second half. Ledesma comes in. What did you think of that sub?
So originally I said, why not? I didn't think it was a bad sub immediately. I said, all right, something happened to Talus Magno. You got to put someone on the left. I don't want to see Pellegrini on the left. So why not play Talus Magno? I did think there was an opportunity to move Jason to the left and put in Julian Fernandez. But I said, maybe Julian Fernandez isn't ready to play 45 minutes. So if you need someone to play right now, put in Ledesma in that moment. That was my first thought when I saw it. I didn't hate it. What'd you think?
I didn't hate it till I started seeing him play. Dude, I don't know. I felt like the ball wasn't moving well with Ledesma on the pitch. I don't know what it was. Maybe because he was playing the wing versus like his 10 role sometimes he plays. But I just thought he wasn't effective on the wing.
I agree. I initially was okay with it. After time, and the further we got into this game, and this is way before the 95th minute where things really go sour, I thought, all right, 65th minute, it's time to make substitutions. Man, I know you put in Ledesma in 45, but he's playing so poorly. Maybe just switch him out.
It felt like that, but you can't also do that either. I was thinking the same thing, like, maybe just get Ledesma out.
Yeah.
But I'm like, you just put in fresh legs, which was Ledesma. You're not going to sub him out. And then when you get later in the game, you start thinking maybe I should have subbed them out. But I understand not subbing them out. Like you cannot sub out somebody who's fresh legs, right?
I mean, when they're playing that poorly, why not?
Yeah.
And you have the people on the bench that can play. You have Julian Fernandez. You have even Pellegrini. Maybe he comes in later, but to play that left position earlier. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I just thought I thought it wasn't his best game. He didn't play the game prior, so maybe he's just not in form. And I just thought, man, this guy is. It was very obvious that left side was weak. Kevin O'Toole had some moments. He played well at times, but there was also some big mess ups from him. And then the same with Ledesma. I was like, that side is getting killed. Make some movement there. I was hoping maybe Kufre came in and helped support Ledesma, or maybe just move Ledesma out, but no substitutions on that side.
Yeah, and we need to keep talking about the subs because I think the subs is kind of what dictated this game. But let's get into some happy moments. There was the one happy moment, 70th minute or around 70th minute. They got a free kick. Tavon's on the defensive side of the pitch. He does a quick lob over to the offensive right near.
What a perfect pass!
Yo, that was a dime by Tavon.
Tavon is on another level after coming back from Jamaica.
And then to Santi right near the box. starts dribbling it past almost like 3 defenders right there to the right side of the goal, shoots a rocket and scores it.
What a golazo.
That was
homie.
beautiful, man.
I could not believe the way that cut in. And usually I get so frustrated that he tries to shoot on 3 people because
Yeah.
he misses. But my God, and you could tell how happy he was. He was so relieved. He was in the crowd, just like hugging people, kissing this girl. Like he was just so hyped. I felt really good for him.
No, and you know what it was? It's like, when you're watching a basketball game and it's like a breakaway and then like you take a 3 instead of trying to get your 2 points and the coach looks at you, but then you make it and then you're like, oh, it's all good. It's all good. It's all good. You did your thing. That's exactly how I felt about Santi. I saw him dribbling past 3 defenders again. I'm like, this is Santi again. This is Santi. And bang, he makes it. And I'm like, okay, all is good. All is good. I'm happy with this goal. But that goal and just Santi, I don't know why, but for me, it was like a significant moment because of like this tight playoff race. It felt like Tati-esque to me. It felt like, you remember when Tati scored in New England and he jumped over the thing and he went to his side and like he was with all the bench players.
Yeah,
That's exactly what it felt like. It was like moment to moment. I'm like, holy shit, Santi's coming back. Like, this is why we signed Santi as a DP. And it felt like that moment. Like, it felt like a Castellanos moment where like he's gonna be a club legend. And I might be overreacting. I am overreacting. I know Messi was on the bench and I wanted Messi to be hyped, all right? But it just was a big moment for Santi. And I felt that moment, the way he played all game, the pressure on defense, which was what Tati was known for, always pressing. So it was good to see, man.
I'm glad you said that because I couldn't explain the feeling I had, but he felt like a much bigger player that game. And I wonder if he was playing for Messi and national television, right?
You know, Santi knew all eyeballs were on that game. It's a whole different atmosphere when you play Miami right now.
And he played up to that stage.
Exactly.
And it was great. I think he was like, yo, there's a time for me to get that big money. That's this game right here. Yeah. And he showed it off, man. He was so good. He was obviously after Talis Magno left, he was obviously like on another level of the rest of the players on that pitch.
Yeah, exactly.
And on the NYCFC side.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And then from there, it just felt like we lost all steam. So let's get into the next sub because he scores around the 68th to 70th minute. Then he gets subbed out with Keaton Parks in the 70th. Was it Keaton Parks in the 73rd or was it in the 88th minute?
No, Keaton Parks came in this.
No. But did he come in for Santi? He had to have, right?
I think he did come in for. No, wasn't it? Yeah, I think he came in for Santi, and then Baccarat came in for,
No, you're right. He came in for Baccarat.
Yes. Let's see here. We're gonna see the
yes. You're right. So then Parks came in for Baccarat. So at that point, in the 73rd minute, you're looking a little more defensive. It is. Parks came in for Baccarat there, which I mean, at that point, I'm not mad about that. I think Baccarat.
And that's when Santi came in the 9. So that already happened.
No. In the 73rd minute is when Baccarat came in. Well, Parks came in for Baccarat, and Santi played to the 88th minute.
Yes, but Baccarat, but the substitution happened on the 73rd minute, and then Santi scored on the 77th minute.
He scored on the 77th?
Yes. I'm looking at it right now. Santi scored on the 77th minute.
Oh, okay.
So that substitution already happened. And that he was playing. That's why Gray passed it to him because he was playing striker.
Yes.
On the false 9. And then what happens is on the 88th minute,
Santi gets subbed out.
For Matias Pellegrini.
And I get it. And Nick Cushing's mentioned this plenty of times that he puts in Pellegrini because he's a very defensive forward. He will come back. He will press. He will do what you want him to do. But you sub him out for Santi, and we lost our only offensive threat.
Yes. I have a lot of frustrations on this.
Okay, say it.
But we do have, before we go into the frustrations, we do have exclusive content on what Cushing said to Pellegrini right before he brought him to the game. You know, what the plan was.
Why when he subbed them in, this is what it was.
Baby, not only are you a genius, you're beautiful. When I look in your eyes, oh yeah, I see what God did. God did. Oh, he believed in you.
He's in love with them, man. And I have so many issues with this. One, okay, he's playing defensively, right? You put him in as the 9. How much defense are you playing if you are on the furthest end of the pitch?
Yeah, basically he was as a forward.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so, one, that didn't make sense to me. And 2, you completely killed, like you mentioned, the offense. Like, there was no type of movement. There's no way of holding possession when you have Matias Pellegrini out there. And so, like, if you're gonna play Matias Pellegrini, maybe put in Julian Fernandez. Jason was tired. You know what I mean? Like, put in some type of um players where we can keep the ball offensively. When have we ever been a good team at parking the bus?
No.
Just never. It's never worked for us. And I don't get how we haven't learned that lesson. And it's funny because when they put in Matias Pellegrini, or when they scored, Hudson River Blue posted on Twitter, now it's time to park the bus. And my immediate comment back was, we have the worst school bus drivers of all time. Like, that is a terrible idea. And we saw it. It's just not only did we not have any possession for the last like 10-15 minutes of the game, but like we couldn't, it was just too chaotic. It just had complete
that's
control.
What was problem with me. There was no control. Like, we would be in the midfield, and instead of just, okay, we're in a dangerous spot, let's push it back, we would then go through a pass, and then it would be a turnover. It's like, why? We are in control of this game at this point, and we're doing stupid passes left and right, and then like we'll push forward, but then instead of going to the sideline, we'd actually try to score. And it's like, you're not going to score at that point. You don't have the right repertoire, right people in place to score at this point. Why are you going that way? And
Exactly.
like, I feel like that was the most frustrating part. Is I think if we could look into those stats of the last 10 minutes, you could see we barely had possession, because once we got it, we turned it over. And that's what helped them. And they score in the 95th minute. Avila scores, and it's a header from across. I mean, across from a what the hell did I just say? He scores on a header from across.
Yes.
And it's just like they had another chance to even score again after that.
Oh,
that
like
was
a minute later.
Yeah, that was the craziest part. We were just so discombobulated towards the end of that game. And right after that goal, it just felt like we could have controlled it, and instead we went south.
But the thing is, if that goal felt like it was coming for the last 10 minutes, for the moment Pellegrini came on the pitch, honestly, those are from like the 88th minute to
there was 7
the
minutes.
moment we hit stoppage time. I was like, this game needs to be over, because we were playing terrible these past 2 minutes. Yeah. And it just kept going. And it was like, you're seeing this isn't working. Sub them out. We have 7 minutes. We're going to play. You're going to play this discombobulated for 7 minutes. It was just so frustrating.
No, and the problem is you still have 2 other subs.
Yes.
Why don't you get some Gouffre in there? Get somebody more defensive. Get people who have tired legs in this game, no matter what, anywhere on the pitch.
Yes.
Because if you get 2 fresh legs in there, even if it's a Jason who's playing a wing, he's going to track back. Whoever it is going to track back, play more defense. Or if we look at this goal, look at where Pellegrini's standing on this. This is crazy to me. This is crazy. This is him marking Avila's.
You mean Ledesma?
I mean, yes, Ledesma. Sorry. Ledesma. Yeah. He's not even looking at the ball.
Bro, he was looking the wrong way. And it was like, why was Ledesma marking this dude? Did you see them right before this? Right? They look like they're 10 feet apart from each other in the air. So in this screenshot that we have, if you're listening to the pod, Avilas is in the air. Ledesma's looking the wrong way, not at the ball, looking just at Avilas in the sky like he's Michael Jordan. And my thought process is, why is Ledesma on Avilas in the first place? That guy is over 6 feet tall, and Ledesma's barely 5 feet. No offense, Ledesma, but he's not very tall. Why would you have such a huge height difference? Where's Thiago Martins?
NYCFC plays more of a zone set piece defending, and it results in stuff like this.
Exactly. You gotta mark some of these dudes in the middle, man. Like, I don't get, the zone is not working.
Well, remember, we had a whole problem with set pieces throughout this early on in the season, where there was a tracker going how many halves there's been set pieces on.
Actually, we have done pretty well this year on set pieces. It was last year we did really bad on set pieces.
It feels like it was this year. Early on the season, bro, it's been a whole season. It's long. I feel like this season's been a very long season, especially because we've been stressing about playoffs for like 5 weeks now. Whatever. If it wasn't, we still have these issues.
And and you know what? Talking about substitutions, why was Ledesma still in the game?
Well,
we talked
but that
about
goes
this.
to that whole thing. He probably has fresher legs than somebody who's been playing for 90 minutes.
But you have 2 more substitutions.
No,
and he
agree.
was playing terrible for 45 minutes. Why not switch him? If you're keeping Jason in, put Jason on the left, put in Julian Fernandez, maybe even where was Hack? Put in, if you want to play defense, put in some more defensive players,
Yeah,
like you said.
That's what I'm saying. You have 2 subs, get in 2 more defensive players in there. That's all I'm saying.
So crushing. It was so crushing to lose that game.
But we were also
draw
kind of
that
like
game.
7 minutes. Let's talk about the 7 minutes. Did it feel like the 7 minutes of extra time was excessive?
I thought so. I legitimately, and maybe I was hoping for the best, so I'm very biased. But when I first saw 90th minutes, I was like, all right, we're going to get 2-3 minutes of stoppage time, because I know there were yellow cards. People were saying, well, there was like 6 yellow cards in that second half. But most of the yellow cards weren't people complaining. Like the biggest one, oh, we didn't even talk about it, what should have been the red card.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we didn't even get into that. But that was the only call that took a while.
Yeah.
But the rest of them, at least out of the 6 yellow cards that were given in that half, 4 of them were Miami players. And those Miami players were not complaining because those were obvious yellow cards.
Yeah.
So it was like, all right, you have 2 yellow cards where Ledesma was complaining where he got his yellow, and I forget who else got the other yellow in the game. But for the exception that Andres Jason got that yellow, I don't get where 7 minutes came from, man.
Yeah, I know. And just officiating overall, like there was a couple moments where you could have thought there was red cards issued out, and especially I forget the one moment. Do you remember who got fouled?
It happened. Who got fouled? No, but who committed the foul? I remember it was Dixon Arroyo, and his cleats were up. He hit whoever he hit. I don't remember. It might have been
Santi
or Santi. Yeah, I think it might have been Santi.
Yeah.
But he hit him cleats up. No, it was Pereira.
Oh yes.
Yeah, because I was like, if we lose Pereira for the season, I was going to be crushed.
Yes.
And so, not only that, Miami took him out of the game, took Arroyo out of the game immediately after that, because
suspect.
That was sus, homie, sus. I really thought that. I mean, that was an obvious red, especially because the earlier that day, I don't know if you saw, I don't know what Premier League game it was, but the dude hit the ball. I think it might have been Liverpool, hit the ball, and then his foot kept sliding and it hit the dude's ankle, and he got a red card. And everyone was complaining, like, but he hit the ball first.
Yeah.
This thing, and so, but it was cleats up.
Yeah.
You're there. That was such an obvious red card, and they didn't call it. Have they apologized yet for that?
No, there hasn't been any ruling.
That's because Messi rules.
This is what Nick Cushing had to say about the officiating.
We knew coming in here that we were going to be walking down the MLS red carpet, and we probably weren't going to be the invited guests. So there's many moments in the game that, but I've watched the games. I watched the game when Peter Vermees spoke after the game. I watched the game when Oscar Pereira spoke after the game. We've all been in these moments, and unfortunately, we get 7 minutes at the end that, in my opinion, isn't 7 minutes. But those guys are going to do their job, and they've got a job to do today, so they did it.
And yeah, the job was to make sure Miami won that game, homie, or didn't lose it at least.
Yeah, so really interesting stuff.
What a great way of saying this shit is rigged.
Well, yeah, he said the Miami red carpet. He said other teams came here, complained about the same things. And to a certain extent, it feels like it's true, but NYCFC still have to accept the fact that we should have won this game, and it wasn't Miami's fault for us not defending that corner, that set piece, or
Moonsef not scoring
3
of those layups.
Yeah. This gets us into playoff talks. So this is where we stand now. And
I just want to say we're recording this Tuesday night, so the Wednesday games have not been played yet.
Yes, Wednesday games have not been played. We stand 8th. And Cushing actually had a good point. He said, yeah, we got 1 point, but we were 1 point further away from our goal. Because
Facts,
that's really what it is. Yeah, we gained a point in this, but we lost. That playoff picture is looking a little more grim for us after a tie.
And not only that, but most of the teams below us have a game on us, which is really brutal. So now it's really not in our control as much as we think it is, because for the exception of us and DC United, who we play this game, most of the teams have a game on us, which is why most of them are playing Wednesday. So let's hope for a lot of losses for those people below us.
But we could still kind of control our destiny, because if you look at this, we're in the 8th spot. Montreal's in the 9th spot. DC United, we play against. We beat them. Okay, we could kind of control, even if they have the same amount of games of us. So, okay, fine. Chicago, even if Chicago wins, they have 37 points. So it could,
right there.
Yeah, so if they win, they could track back, take over that 8th spot. But then we play them the last game, so then we could possibly take over that playoff spot on the last game. So it's gonna be a hell of a ending. Miami, Charlotte, they have 30 games, but they play each other the last 2 games of the season. 2 games back to back against each other,
which is crazy.
Yeah, it's gonna be crazy.
And what's really interesting is Miami's not playing Messi this Wednesday. So tomorrow.
Yeah, so there's been talks that he might not be playing
the rest of the season.
Yeah, he might not be playing the rest of the season.
Which is a little concerning, because if you don't play Messi, Charlotte has a good opportunity. Charlotte has the least amount of games played at 30. And if they get, I mean, their thing is they're bad. But if they get hot, it's scary. So
I feel like Miami's still much more of a scarier team. Even you got Busquets out there.
They were so terrible against Houston. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, but
they just were like running into the defense. I was like, why didn't we get? I mean, we did actually get that at Miami the first half, and then Busquets kind of changed his positioning that second half, and they had a much better second half. But
there's a possibility that Red Bulls
get eliminated tomorrow.
Yeah, so a lot of things have to go that way for them to actually get eliminated. I don't know them, because there's like 7 different things that have to happen before they get eliminated. But anytime we could talk about Red Bulls getting eliminated, I'm down. You know what I'm saying? But this playoff is going to be crazy. So we've been critiquing, 8th and 9th spots. This is stupid. Playoffs really don't matter. Bro, this is kind of interesting. But it makes no sense, because you've literally watched 30 games and there's still like 7 teams in it. But it's something you actually want to watch.
Also, the 8 and 9 team are playing for a spot, aren't they?
Yeah.
So I feel like people are giving a lot of slack on it, and I get it. There's only 15 teams, and 9 of them are making in, but the 8th and 9th spot are fighting for a spot it's like the wild card.
Yeah,
I'm okay with it, man. I think it keeps it interesting. I feel like, I hate when we talk about like the Premier League, but like
we only mentioned this 7 times today.
But I do think that like mid-season, all those mid-tier teams, they know they're not going to win the Supporter Shield. They know they're not going to be regulated. They're just like in limbo. Here, almost every team but Toronto still has an opportunity to do something this year. So I think that I don't know, man. I love the playoffs. I don't want the playoffs to leave.
Did it make sense to add 2 more teams? I don't know.
It depends if we're on the 8th spot or the 9th spot at the end. If it's the 8th spot, then
I don't know. I don't think the 8th spot was there either. I think it used to be only 6 teams or 7. I don't remember.
But I'm glad we still have an opportunity. So I'm happy this year.
Everybody on top of us already's locked the playoff spot.
That's insane.
Yeah, and Cincinnati already, as we said, won the Supporter Shield. So crazy stuff. And now we get into our NYCFC versus DC United game. You know what? I'm adding a transition because it's been too long.
So refresh after that transition.
That 2-second transition. We are back on the road. We're going to DC United this time. If we look at NYCFC's away record, we're 1-7-8. 1 win, 7 losses, and 8 draws. We need a win. We need to win badly.
Wait, we're 1-7-8 since when?
No, overall on the road this year.
Oh, okay.
It's not fun, bro.
It's not fun.
We suck on the road.
I mean, 8 draws is nice.
No, it's not.
That's 8 points.
I feel like, are we still on track to get like the draw record?
I don't think so. I think somebody had it at like 18, 19. I don't think we're up there.
So we're not up there, but
can't get no records this year.
Get us into it. Preview this DC United game for us.
All right, so DC United, not so great, as we mentioned. The good thing is they play Austin on Wednesday. Austin's a good team. They hopefully are coming out exhausted, but they do play. They are playing at home on Saturday. But since the Leagues Cup, they have had 1 win, 3 losses, 4 draws.
Oof.
So not great.
They're not feeling very hot right now.
No. But you got to watch out for Benteke. I couldn't even believe it when I looked this up before this thing. He's had 14 goals this year and 8 assists. My man is playing.
Talking about Premier League, the guy came from the Premier League. But yeah, that guy is actually scoring.
Oh, I'm wrong. 4 assists. Apologize. Not
you said 14?
Assists.
Oh,
I said
okay.
8 assists. 14 goals,
4 assists. You know who's second on that team? Fuentes. And he's no longer on that team, which is crazy, with 6 goals.
Who would have thought racism would have gotten kicked you out?
Yeah, so it's going to be an interesting matchup. Lineup-wise, who do you think we get out there? Do we keep our same thing? Do we get Parks in there?
I think you got to keep it going, man. I mean, Parks was out for a while. He's probably not at form yet. I think he's a great super sub to have at this moment. And I think Sands and our boy Pereira have been playing really well in that middle line. Sometimes I think Sands plays really well defensively, but doesn't do so great offensively, getting the ball, transitioning that ball to the offense. But Pereira stepped up so much that I feel like there's a little pivot there where Pereira's playing up, Sands is playing back, and it seems to be working really well.
So we starting this GoFundMe for Pereira?
Oh,
he's on loan.
We need to pay the bag to Philly to keep Pereira.
He's so good, dude.
He's to see him not starting for a team until this is crazy to me.
Yeah, you can't take this guy off the pitch. He's so good, dude.
But then what happens? Do we just have Parks or Sands just not starting games next year?
It's a good problem to have. That's all.
It is a good problem.
But every time we say it's a good problem to have, we get 3 injuries, and then we're we don't have any players, damn it. So let's not get too excited about it.
That's true.
Yeah. So that's what. So play the same lineup. It's a big DC United game, man. I wish we could make out the trip. And we can make the trip out there, but
I'll make it if you make it.
Nah, I'm not making it, bro.
A 6-hour car ride's no fun. We only have 2 games left in the season, man. It's almost over.
I know, and then Chicago. We got to talk about Chicago too, but we'll get into that next episode.
Who do we think? What's the scoreline going to be?
Oh yes, final words, final predictions. If you could, you know what it is. Usually we do betting lines. There is no betting lines yet.
Yeah.
So, who do you think's gonna? What's the final score going to be for this DC United game?
I think NYCFC is going to win. Talas Magno, honestly, is playing amazing, and he's just brought my confidence in this team so much higher. And Santi, I think, has been playing amazing well. And I do think that Benteke is a big dude, which makes him really good. But I think our defense, when they don't have to play 10 minutes of ball scrambling, has been really great. I think Burke Risa and Thiago Martins have been pretty solid. Thiago Martins sometimes has some weird situations, but in general, I think our defense has been great, and Gray's been great. Say all that to say, I think we're going to win this 2-1.
Wow, you're going to allow them to score a goal on us?
I've been taking. He's got 14 goals, homie.
Matt Freese has been a lock back there.
Yo, he has been a lot. Yo, how wrong were we about Matt Freese?
We're idiots. Don't take our analysis serious. This guy's dominating out there.
What do you think the score is going to be?
I'm going to go 1-0.
Wow.
Yeah, low scoring affair. Well, you know what's crazy? DC United play Red Bulls. You're thinking, oh, well, that's a really low scoring game. 5-3, they lose. So it could go crazy out there. So my prediction could be completely wrong, but I'm going.
I mean, the Red Bulls are trash. The Red Bulls lost, right?
No, they won that game.
DC's trash. They're both trash.
So yeah, I go 1-0. Santi scores.
Oh, you're on the Santi train hard right now. My man just paid his $275 and he's on the train hard.
Any final words?
Just hype that the game got moved to Citi Field. Fuck Red Bull Arena, just big time.
Yeah, let's go Chicago.
Let's
that
go,
game's
boys.
gonna be big, Citi Field, but that's in 3 weeks, bro. Why is it so long from now?
We got 2 games.
Yeah, Yeah, October 7th. But then I think the next game's like the 21st. Whatever it is, it's way too far for me because I want to see how the season plays out.
Me too.
Hopefully next time we're talking, we're in a better playoff predictor.
Hopefully we're
prediction.
talking about the playoffs and not talking about next season.
Let's hope so. All right, y'all. Nice
Peace.
seeing y'all. Peace.